If you run a CPA firm, you know the feeling, right? You land this amazing new client, but instead of popping the champagne, there's this little knot in your stomach because you know chaos is coming. It's a really frustrating cycle. So today, we're going to break down exactly why that happens and, way more importantly, how to fix it for good.
Oh yeah, we've all been there. You're completely swamped, deadlines are breathing down your neck, and this is the first thought that pops into your head. It just feels like the most obvious solution. Too much work means you need more hands on deck. Simple as that. Or is it?
But what if hiring is just a band-aid on a much, much deeper problem? This is the big question we're diving into. We're going to completely shift our thinking away from just headcount and instead look at the hidden systems, the pipes of your firm that are really causing all the strain.
I call this the growth trap. And you know it well. You do fantastic work, so you get more clients, which leads to more scrambling, more stress, and, let's be honest, more mistakes. It's this crazy backwards cycle where your success actually feels like it's punishing you and your team.
And here's the absolute truth of it. If your process is a mess, hiring more people is like deciding to pour more water into a house that already has broken pipes. You don't get more water from the faucet, you just get a bigger flood in the basement. All you're doing is magnifying the chaos, not solving it.
So what's the real answer then? Well, it's not about working harder or hiring faster. It's about working smarter. It's about actually designing a blueprint for how work gets done in your firm. It's about building a solid delivery architecture.
Okay, delivery architecture. Sounds a little fancy, right? So what is it, really? Just think of it as the master plan for your firm's entire workflow. It's the blueprint that makes sure every single task moves from A to B to C smoothly, with total precision and quality. It gives you the power to handle more work without the whole thing collapsing.
And this is where that plumbing analogy really clicks into place. Your delivery architecture literally is your firm's plumbing. It's the system that routes all the tasks. It has built-in filters or review gates for quality. It allows you to add layers so you can scale predictably. Without it, you're just kind of crossing your fingers and hoping work gets where it needs to go, and we all know that's a recipe for disaster.
You wouldn't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, would you? Of course not. For your firm's architecture, that foundation is built on one thing: crystal clear roles. If your people don't know their exact part in the process, the entire structure is wobbly from the get-go.
Now this distinction is absolutely critical. Your accounting manager is all about execution. Their motto is, gets it done. The controller, on the other hand, is all about review. Their motto is, gets it right. Separating these two functions is the absolute cornerstone of a system that's built for quality. One person does the work, another person validates it. It's that simple. And when you establish that clarity, just look at what happens. You get these super clear handoffs, so nothing ever gets dropped between the cracks. You create real accountability. The process becomes what we call bufferable, which just means you can actually see where work is piling up. And it becomes auditable, so you can trace any mistake right back to the source. You're building quality in, not just hoping to find mistakes at the end.
Okay, so we've laid the foundation. The roles are clear. Now we can start talking about adding capacity. Because when you have a solid architecture in place, scaling isn't about inviting chaos to the party. It's about strategically adding to your structure.
The key here is to think about capacity in terms of modules, like Lego blocks that you can plug directly into the system you've already built. You're not just hiring randomly anymore. You're making these smart strategic additions to specific layers of your architecture, whether you need more execution power, more overall throughput, or some specialized skill.
So, for example, an offshore team isn't some separate, disconnected thing. No way. They become a seamless part of your execution layer. They handle those get-it-done tasks, the transaction processing, the data prep, which frees up your onshore team to focus on the high-value, get-it-right stuff, like review and client advisory work.
White label services, well, they can take this a whole step further. They can act as an entire extension of your architecture, executing complete workflows based on the standards you've already set. You design the system, they provide the engine to run it, and it all operates perfectly under your brand.
Now for something really specialized, like audit support. The same rule applies, but it's even more crucial. This cannot be a last-minute add-on. It has to be baked in from the very start, totally integrated into your documentation and your QA workflows, so you get complete consistency. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but I know what you're thinking. Where on earth do I actually start? It can feel a little overwhelming. So let's just tackle the most common questions head on.
This is the first question I always get. It sounds like something only a giant firm would need, right? Is it really necessary if you've only got a handful of people?
And the answer is a very clear, very loud no. A good architecture isn't about being complicated, it's about being clear. Defining who does what and who checks what is absolutely vital whether you have 2 employees or 200. The system just scales right along with your growth.
Okay, next big question. What about the clients? There's always this fear that using outside help might somehow dilute your brand or make things feel less personal.
And that's the absolute beauty of having a great architecture. The whole system is designed to be completely invisible to the client. They only experience one thing: high-quality, on-time work delivered by your firm. The how you do it is your business. The what they get is all they care about.
All right, let's be real. Putting any new system in place feels like it's going to add some friction at the beginning. So is it worth that initial slowdown?
And honestly, yeah, it might feel a little bit slower for a week or two while everyone adjusts, but that's a tiny short-term investment for a massive long-term payoff. Once those structured workflows are humming, you will see a huge increase in both your speed and your quality. It's the classic case of slowing down to speed up.
So, to wrap all this up, here is your super simple, totally actionable plan. Don't try to boil the ocean. Just pick one. One single process, maybe the month-end close. Map out exactly how it's done now. Then, clearly assign those execution versus review rules we talked about. And finally, embed a mandatory review gate. That's it. That is your first step.
The big takeaway today isn't just to think about hiring more people. It's to start thinking like an architect. Stop running around patching leaks and start designing better pipes. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What is the very first process that you are going to build a real architecture for?